Welcome to the hard walkthrough for Star Wars Empire at War Forces of Corruption using the Xerox mod. This is Part 2, Rebel Alliance. As in Part 1, the Rebel Alliance hard walkthrough is set with starting tech level 1. Leave the other settings alone and start it on hard Humble Beginnings map. This will provide the maximum challenge from the Empire AI side. As in the other difficulty settings for the Rebel Alliance, you start out at a disadvantage with two distinct areas on the southern portion of the galactic map to defend. The designers are trying to force you into abandoning one area while defending the other. But you don't need to abandon anyone, even on the hard setting. Princess Leia would be proud.
Soon I will have a new apprentice.
So here's the strategy for the Rebel Alliance on hard. Build up your forces on both sides of the galactic map until they are strong enough to link up. Note that you can greatly speed your game by ignoring, where possible, the independent pirate-based planets. Don't fight them unless you have to in order to cross the map. Rebel strategy in space is to send the fighters up to the enemy space station quickly while the capital ships slowly follow along as backup. They will eventually get to the space station, but by then, hopefully, your fighter planes have destroyed the hangar on the enemy base station. Now the opposite scenario is when you are fighting a defensive space battle where the Empire is attacking one of your space stations. Group your capital ships and missile gunboats around and behind your space station, and do your battle by focusing on your small fighters and mid-size escort vessels. Your strategy may vary, but this works for me most of the time. This is what the Rebel Alliance on hard looks like at mid-game. It is a long, grueling process of not providing the Empire any openings. Create great masses of ships, use large amounts of small fighters and capital ships as your backup. You will have to constantly replace the small fighters as they are easily destroyed. Conquer one planet, consolidate, build up its defenses, move on to the next planet, continuing to build your ground forces as you go. On and on and on. This is a real slog playing on the Rebel side, unless you enjoy watching the Empire regenerate their hero Star Destroyers every 15 or 30 minutes.
We would be honored if you would join us.
I just wish the Mon Calamari had a super weapon on one of their giant ships. It would save a lot of playtime. There are a few worlds that let you build unique fighters and capital ships as you proceed along, but these are just for show. You can win the game just building X-Wing and Y-Wing fighters and bombers, and throw in some medical frigates as your backup. At a certain point, you'll just get bored of fighting the land battles and simply auto-resolve those land maps once you have sufficient forces.
Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them.
Humorously, should you wipe the evil galactic empire from the map, the game doesn't end. You are expected as the heroic Rebel Alliance
You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander.
to visit every pirate planet and wipe them out. Then you win. It's too bad there isn't an option for a weaker foe to surrender, or to sign a treaty of neutrality. But it's not that sort of RPG. Finally, the Rebel Alliance is interesting for the character voices of the heroes during combat. But for me overall, this is the least interesting portion of the Forces of Corruption. It's simply boring. So on to Part 3 of my walkthrough, the corrupt side of the Zan Consortium.
The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.